All right, welcome back to Radio Nation. It's your host, Nicholas Pescod, here broadcasting live from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And now we are joined live on the phone with none other than Tyler Matl. So, Tyler, welcome to the program tonight.
Hey, Nick. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks a lot for coming on the show tonight. And Tyler, I know you got an album coming out really soon, Searching for Juliet. Let's talk about your album.
Yeah, well, Searching for Juliet comes out on April the 13th, and I'm really, really excited about it. It's my second CD that I've released so far in my career, and I'm really excited for the fans to hear it. There's 6 new songs on there, and I think it's a little bit of a different direction for my music as far as what I've released before with the Wonderstruck CD. That was more country pop, and this CD, I think I've had a lot of time to really become more confident in who I am as an artist and to just to grow a lot as well in my songwriting. And this album is just completely 100% like me and who I am. It's very pop. It's not country at all. And I think that's kind of what I wanted to do originally, was pop music, but I was so young when I released Wonderstruck. I was 16 and I didn't have management yet, so I was living in Nashville, and I thought that I had to do country because I was in Nashville. But now, since doing Searching for Juliet, I've been surrounded by an amazing team of people who just encourage me every day to be the artist that I want to be. And I'm really excited for the fans to hear the new EP.
You touched on something that I'd love to know. I've never been to Nashville myself, and you're of course very close from the area and having lived in the area. Because you're an aspiring singer and you were so young, do you feel that because you're in Nashville and country is just obviously everywhere, that it made you just naturally want to be a country singer?
No, not really. I didn't want to be a country singer, honestly. I just felt like because I lived in Nashville and because Nashville was so much country music and that's the industry that's there, I felt like I guess I wasn't confident enough when I was 16 to go and to just do pop music. And I want to say that my music has a little bit of rock in it too, rock influence and stuff. But at the time, I thought in Nashville, like, everyone here is making it with country music and being successful, so I thought that that's what I had to do to be an artist, was I had to be what other people wanted me to be instead of just being who I wanted to be. And I've found that it's not actually an issue at all, and everyone is very, very supportive, even people that I know back in the industry from Nashville, and just the fans in Nashville. They love all kinds of music, so I'm really happy that I'm doing the music right now.
Now, your album comes out on the 13th of April, which is not too far away, actually. Talk a bit about the album. You touched on it a little bit earlier, but I mean, talk about how much do you think that you've grown since you began recording and getting ready for the album?
Oh, a whole lot. Well, there's 6 songs on the album, Searching for Juliet, and I think it's really cool because it's not just all about the same thing. Where on the Wonderstruck CD, I had not had like a whole lot of growth and development with even my songwriting, and every single one of those songs that was on that CD, except for 2 of them, were all wrote myself. The other 2 songs I wrote with someone else, but I've had so much time since then to really learn a lot because I do a lot of co-writing, so I've learned so much about songwriting. And the songs that are on there, every single one of them, I've wrote with other writers and other producers, and I feel like it's much more mature and much more relatable. People, all kinds of audiences can relate to it and understand what it's talking about, and I'm really happy about a lot of all the songs that are on there. I mean, I'm happy about all of them, but there's a song on there called It's Not Easy, and that's about, bullying and overcoming those types of things. And then I have songs in there that everyone can relate to, like the love songs, but then I also have a song there called All I Need to Breathe, and for me, I think a lot of people when they hear that, I think that they'll just think it's like a love song, a typical like, romantic, all that. But when I was writing it, I actually wrote it about my relationship with God, and that's the most passionate love that I feel for anyone is the love I have for God. So it's a much more mixed variety of songs that are on this EP.
Tyler, you got a couple of upcoming shows, including one on the 6th of April, which is the 5th Annual Fallbrook International Film Festival. And then you got another show in Houston, Texas, with a couple of other former Radio Nation guests, including Peyton Sanders and the Boyle Brothers, and there's about 5 others in that festival as well. Give me your thoughts heading into each show or each performance.
I'm really, really excited about these shows that are coming up. I think that people are going to get to see a whole new Tyler Matl. And when I say that, I mean that I've really been spending a lot of time at the beginning of this year and up till now just trying to change my performance and take things to a whole new level. And I haven't really shown anyone that yet with any of my live performances because there's a lot of big shows that are coming up, and I want to, with this new EP coming out, with it all kind of aligning with these shows, and then hopefully some touring going on later, I want to, with this EP coming out, kind of use this as a period where I say, now it's time to show people the new me and everything that I've been working hard on. So, you know, and for a long time I was doing so much stuff playing with like just a guitar, and I would sing on stage with just my guitar, and I'm not doing that anymore. I'm really, really excited to be, you know, singing the actual music, the full production of the songs behind me, and to be dancing and just taking up the entertainment level to a whole new step. So I think the shows are going to be really exciting for people. I'm really excited about them, and just to meet all the fans and for the experience, it's going to be incredible.
Now, your album, getting back to your album is going to be released on iTunes, and it is also going to have some physical copies as well, I understand. Is that correct?
Yeah, it'll be both digital and physical, so you can get it either way.
Just a question. I work for a social media company, and one of the questions we were talking about in the office today was, is it viable, or does it still make sense now for artists to invest in a physical CD? Is that do you still see the value in investing in physical CDs and making them for fans?
I think it is. Nowadays, most fans will buy digital copies, but you still have those fans who are your hardcore fans who look up to you so much that, you know, they meet you and they get your autograph and they want to be able to get the physical copy of your CD, and then they meet you to have you sign it and all of that stuff. And I think for them it's just the memory. And then also some people really maybe just enjoy the artwork. It's not as common now, but I still think it's very important, because if there's still people out there who do appreciate it, then it's worth satisfying those people.
If you're just joining us live on Radio Nation, we got Tyler Matl, who's getting ready for some big stuff coming his way, including a new album out from Tyler, some performances, a lot of performances coming up his way. And if you have a question for Tyler, you can tweet me at Radio_Nation. I'm reading them right now, and there's a lot of really, really good questions. But before I get to your questions, folks, I got a couple more here that I got to ask, including Tyler. I know that you got a lot of merchandise which is coming out, and a lot of exciting things that people can buy that has your name on it and your logo and all that sort of stuff. So I guess how do people, or how are people able to purchase that if they can't make it out to your shows?
People can get all the merchandise the same way that they can go and get anything else of mine, like the Searching for Juliet EP. It's all going to be on my website, so you can get the physical CD on there at tylermatl.com. And we have a lot of new merchandise that we're coming out with, like you had said, and that's all on the website too.
All right, Tyler, I'm going to be taking some questions here off of Twitter very, very shortly. There's lots of them coming in, and each time that I refresh the page, there's about 5 more. So this one's from Darby Jones, and she wants to know how you got your start in singing.
It's something that I've just always loved, and music means, like, music is life to to me. So I don't think that there was ever really a certain day that something happened and then it just was the start of my career. I've just been singing since I was really little, and then I put myself out there with my music, and I don't, I'm not shy about being a singer or being musical, and then so I just put myself in front of people, and that's kind of just where everything has come from, is just being seen and going out there. I think a lot of people, they tell you, oh, I have this dream, this is what I want to do when I grow up, this is my passion, but they don't really do anything about it. So for me, it's just taking the actions, like going out in public and singing in front of people, and learning to write songs, learning to play the guitar, which is actually really funny. I taught myself how to play guitar just from watching videos on YouTube. It's really crazy, the internet has so many cool things we can do with that. Nowadays, you don't even have to go and pay for a lesson to play guitar. Anyways, but yeah, so I guess just putting myself out there, and I said that this is my dream, and I'm going to actually take the actions to make it happen.
Tyler, there's lots of good questions coming in here from Twitter, and I'm going to read a couple more out to you very, very quickly. Every time I want to refresh this page, I keep seeing more. This one comes from Pashusha, and I apologize if I get that name wrong, but she wants to know if you weren't into music, into singing and music, what would you be doing right now?
I would love to, I'd love to be like a guidance counselor and to start my own organization for anti-bullying and to raise awareness for that, because it's something that I'm really, really, really for, is just promoting to raise awareness for that topic and for that cause. And if I could also just be like a guidance counselor of some sort and to be there to listen to children or to anyone in general, like it could be adults too, but just so that people feel like they have someone to listen to them. I know it was hard when I was bullied, and I felt like I didn't have anyone to listen to me, so I just think that would be really cool to do.
And this is going to lead to my next question, which isn't off of Twitter, but I mean, for those that haven't heard the story of how you got bullied, do you mind sharing it really quickly?
Yeah, well, when I was 5 years old, my biological father passed away, and right at the same time, I was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome, and I also have ADHD, and I didn't have medicine for the Tourette's until I got into middle school, like the very end of elementary, but it was the summer, so middle school, when I finally was able to stop the Tourette's and the tics that came from it. And so it was really hard, because I didn't have like a father figure in my life, and I was doing, because the Tourette's, it made me different than everyone else. And so I just had a really hard time fitting in, and I had a lot that I had to overcome because of that, but I think it's made me who I am today, and it's kind of given me that force behind the drive that I have to succeed.
As someone who has ADD myself, did you experience a lot of? Was it difficult to fit in at school? Was it hard because you weren't on medication to really do well in school? Did you find that very difficult?
Yeah, that was really hard. Not being able to focus and not being able to actually comprehend some of the simplest things when I was in school, that was really frustrating, because I would have to have someone explain it over and over and over and over. And sometimes I still wouldn't get it, and they could explain it 15 times, but it just wouldn't matter. And that also caused some bullying, because people thought I was stupid, and people would say that. They'd be like, "Oh, you're dumb," and you need to go back to preschool, just stupid stuff. So it was frustrating, but like I said, I feel like everything happens for a reason, and it's made me who I am today, but it was definitely very hard.
In terms of overcoming it, were there certain things that you did, or was it just something that you said it's just going to get better?
Well, music really was very, very, important to me, and it always has been, and I think that it really helped me get through a lot, because I've always been able to just, if I'm feeling a certain emotion, and then there's a song that has that same emotion, whether it's the lyrics in the song. But so I just would listen to, if I was sad, and I would listen to a song that I could relate to with the situation going on. I would just listen to it over and over, and it would help me get through what I was going on. And then also, I'm very, very close with my mom, and so I could share with her a lot of the stuff that I had going on. And also, I very, very fortunate to have a really great church family. They've always, the people that I'm friends with from church, they actually kind of gave me the confidence to sing out in public, and they helped me to get started. They let me like sing in the choir there and everything. And they were very, very positive for me when everything was going on with bullying. So I think it's just a combination of all those things, and I would focus on the positive and not the negative, because at the end of the day, I just told myself, it's not anything that I can control, but I can control if I let it wear me down, and if I focus on the negative stuff that's happening. Because there's always going to be like negative, and there's always going to be positive in our life, so it's just how you look at it.
Just another question on the subject. I guess as someone who has ADD myself and has to deal with it on a daily basis, and I can relate to you on that portion. How do you find managing your ADD or ADHD with having a music career? And I can't imagine. Actually, I can understand how that might affect a music career when you're performing or something like that.
I take medicine for like my ADHD now, and so I take it twice a day, like in the morning, and then sorry, I'm getting that mixed up. I do have to take medicine for both the Tourette and ADHD. But I just take the medicine for the ADHD in the morning, and so it wears off in the evening, but I'm able to focus like most of the day. And a lot of times when I do perform, it is in the evening. But if my medicine's like worn off and I'm a little bit more hyper than usual, I don't think it's a bad thing. I actually think it can kind of be a plus, because when you see someone on stage, you want to see them have energy and you want to see them being energetic. So if maybe it has any effect as far as that goes, and it's giving me a little bit more energy that I don't have my medicine in my system, I don't know, maybe that's good.
Do you worry then that the medicine with the Tourette's, I mean, does that ever affected you on the stage or anything where it's run out and you've worried or wondered if it's going to happen, or are you going to have some sort of episode?
No, I haven't had any issues with the Tourette's since I first started taking the medicine in 6th grade. I've never, ever had an issue with my Tourette's again.
All right, well that's good for you, man. I honestly didn't even know that you went through that. So that's pretty sweet. That's pretty awesome stuff, man. And there's a lot of questions here on Twitter, and there's a lot of people listening in right now. So I'm going to take a bunch of questions. So if you do have a question for Tyler, you're more than welcome to tweet me at Radio_Nation, and we'll be on the phone for a little while and taking your questions. All sorts of great questions here. So we're really just going to go through them as they come in. So this one's from Vanessa in Washington, beautiful Washington State. She wants to know, describe your childhood in terms of a TV show, a movie, or I guess characters. So I guess if you could describe your life or your childhood in one TV show, how would you do it?
I think that my childhood, gosh, that's a really hard one. I don't know. I think that they'd have to come up with a TV show for my childhood. I guess you could, what is that, that show that comes on? Gosh, it comes on at Nick at Night, and I can't remember it now.
Anybody out there that knows shows at Nickelodeon at night that can tweet Tyler and help him out, because I do not watch that program. I haven't watched it for a long time, and I should, though.
Yeah, no,
we can get.
I don't know, I guess you could compare it. It's not exactly like Family Matters. You could compare it kind of. Well, yeah, I would say Family Matters.
Fair enough.
Closest TV show I could think of that kind of compares to my life, because it's like we do have our drama and we do have our moments, but it's like at the end of the day, we're always like really close. We always come back and to each other, and family is the thing that's most important, no matter what's going on in our lives, no matter what happens, we're there for each other 100%.
Tommy here, she's got a lot of questions for you, and one of them is, what is your shoe size?
What is my shoe size? My shoe size is a 9.5, and sometimes it's a 10. I don't know. It just depends. Like, I think when I'm wearing like tennis shoes or sneakers, it's a 10. But then when I wear other shoes, it's a 9.5. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I totally get that, because I feel like when I buy shoes too, like different brands, different sizes mean different thing. Like a 9 from Adidas is different from like a 9 from Pumas. I totally get that, and so I'm like trying a shoe on. I'm like, what's wrong? What's up with this? So I hear you, man.
But they're always pretty close for me. It's either a 9.5 or 10, so it's not even that big of a difference.
Yeah, at least you're not like size 13, where they might not even have it in stock. All right, this is also from Tommy. She wants to know what your favorite flavor of soda is, or is in Canada we like to say pop.
I say pop too, but I think that maybe that's just because I'm from Kentucky. But I think that a lot of people from Kentucky, they say pop, and I've always called it that. But anyways, my favorite flavor of soda or pop would be cream soda. But I've actually stopped drinking pop. I drink just like water now, and I drink lemonade.
All right, this is a question from Greg, and he wants to know, how tall are you?
The last time I went and I was at the doctor and they like saw how tall I was, it was about 3 months ago, and I was 5'10".
This question is from Robert Matthews, and he wants to know who is your musical influencer, or if you have multiple, just so you can name them off.
Oh yeah, my musical influence is actually Howie Day. He's one of my biggest role models, and I really, really look up to him a lot. And it was really cool because the last time that I was in Nashville, it was the very beginning of the year, I got to meet him. I went to one of his shows. He was playing in Nashville, and it was an awesome show. The guy is so talented, and he's really nice. And after the show, he came out and talked to me, and it was so cool. He already knew who I was, and he like was familiar with my stuff. So he was like, "Oh, hey, your name's Tyler," and I was like, "Yes." And it was like one of those. I was having a fan moment, and he was just so cool and said that he heard my stuff, and he's like, "You're really talented. Keep up the work. Like, keep up all the hard work. I totally see you going places." And it was really, really cool to hear that like amazing compliment coming from your inspiration. It really meant a lot. So that was awesome. And I guess one other inspiration of mine is I actually really like Taylor Swift a lot. I think she's really cool. She's a great role model. She's done a great job as far as being a public figure. For how long that she's been in the spotlight already, and the level of fame that she has, she's done a really good job at setting a great example for people. And so I hope that as far as the image that I have, I hope that I can do the same thing.
Tyler, this is a question from Vanessa in Washington, and she wants to know, what qualities does your Juliet have?
My Juliet. Well, I really, really like someone who can make me laugh, and someone who, I don't know, there's just those people that when you meet them, you can have never met them before, but when you do meet them the very first time, they just feel like someone you've known forever, like they're your best friend after 5 minutes. So someone who I just feel like I can be myself around, and who I feel like isn't trying hard to impress me, someone who's just being themselves. And if I like, if I am attracted to it, if I like you, it'll happen, but don't try and force it. And then, like, physical qualities that I really like in a girl. I like someone who's tall, but I don't want a girl to be like too tall. I guess she could be the same height as me, but if she started, like, I'm 5'10", so if she ended up being like like 6 foot or 6'1", and she was like starting to really tower over me, I might be like, I don't know, this is awkward. It's like when you kiss, then the guy, like, me being the guy, like, I'd have to, like, crane my neck up for her and being able to look down at her. And I like to be able to look down at the girl when I kiss her.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
I totally get that.
I like a girl who has beautiful eyes, like this eyes that really stand out.
Now, you said you're about 5'10", so does that mean that you won't date anybody taller than you?
No, it doesn't mean I won't date anyone taller than me, as long as they're not a giant.
Fair enough. There's lots of questions in here coming from lots of different people here, so I'm trying to get to as many different people as I can before I start taking multiples from the same individuals again. Tyler, who inspires you the most when you're writing music?
Well, a lot of my writing inspirations, one of them is High Day, and then another one is John Baselli, and he's if anyone is familiar with Secondhand Serenade, that's actually John, he's Secondhand Serenade, but I really like Taylor Swift, I like Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars has actually wrote a lot of songs for other people, and so has, from One Republic, I know his name is Ryan, I can't remember. He's a huge writing inspiration of mine, and I don't know, I really like their style, and I like that they all, when they come out with something new, it's not just like what they released the last time. They're always pushing themselves and they're pushing the envelope a little bit further and seeing how much, how, like, first, like, they make it better, obviously, and that's what I like, is that they're not just staying at one level, but also I think it's really cool when an artist kind of pushes the envelope as far as what can I get away with? Can I get away with a little more? I think it's good to be like appropriate and set a good example with your music, but I also think it's cool when you do go in something that's a little edgy here and there.
Tyler, this next question is from my father, who's out in beautiful Vancouver Island, BC, and just living life. So he wants to know from you, what is the hardest thing about breaking into the music business?
Well, shout out to your father. And,
Sweet.
I think, huh?
I said that's sweet, thanks.
The hardest thing for me about trying to break into the music industry is probably just, I don't know, not being able to have a normal teenage life every day. I'm still a normal teenager, and I do normal teenage things like hang out with friends and go to the mall. And I love to hike. That's one of my favorite ways to just relax, and I do that all the time when I'm not doing music. But it's kind of hard because you don't get to see friends as much as you normally would, or you just have a busier life, and so me being so young, it's just a little difficult. But at the same time, my family and my friends, everyone's so supportive of me that really helps a lot and makes it a lot easier.
Tyler, there's lots of questions here. I don't know how much time you have, but we've got plenty of time, and there's a lot of really good ones here that I want to get to. This one comes from Marina in Toronto. I'm going to ask two from her because they're pretty much back to back. Who has influenced you most in your life? I think you've touched on it a little already, but also too, what is the most romantic thing you've ever done for a girl?
Okay, well, the person who has influenced me the most in my life is, as far as my music goes, Howie Day is a huge inspiration for mine, and he definitely influences me a lot. And then in my personal life, I'm very much influenced by my friends and my family and the people that mean something to me in my personal life. I look up to them a lot, so they have a big influence on me. And the most romantic thing I think I've ever done for a girl is probably, I don't know, I like to do stuff that's spontaneous, and I like to do stuff that's surprising. So I think it's the small things that matter, because that's what makes me so so happy is like when someone just pays attention to the little details, like what's my favorite movie or what's my favorite food when I go to a restaurant. Like, do they know like what I like to get? So I try and make sure I pay attention to the details. Like if I have a girlfriend, what matters to her. And so I think one time I went and I knew like my girlfriend's favorite movie, and I knew her favorite food, and like just a bunch of her favorite stuff. And I just like got all of it and took it over to her and just surprised her, and we just hung out. And it's just like the little things, like her knowing that I pay attention to what matters to her, like made her so happy.
Tyler, this question is from Greg in Los Angeles, California. And Greg, I'm already jealous of you. And he asks, what is your favorite TV show? And you don't have to, and he literally says this, and you don't have to say Degrassi because the station is in Canada. Now, before I let you go, Tyler, Greg, this station, actually where I'm broadcasting, is where the original Degrassi was shot. Just a little fun fact about where this station is. So, all right, Tyler, what is your favorite TV show?
Actually, I do love Degrassi, and that's so cool that it was shot there. I have a song that's on the EP that I can't really say a whole lot, but we're talking with some people from the show to play some music on Degrassi, and it may or may not end up being on one of the upcoming episodes of the show. I can't really say anything else, but I love Degrassi, so that's really cool. But my favorite show is actually Big Brother, and I've actually been watching the Canada version of Big Brother a lot lately, because right now the next U.S. version of Big Brother doesn't start until June, I think. It doesn't start until the summer, so I've been watching the Canada version a lot, but I'm totally hooked on that show.
This is a question from Tyler Matl fans. I'm not sure where they're from, but I'm going to guess Canada, because their question is this. Are you into hockey? And if so, what's your favorite hockey team?
I'm not a very athletic, like sportsy person. I like to run, I like to hike, and I like swimming. But I don't know, I don't really watch like football or go to games, except for like hang out. I never actually pay attention to what's going on. But I'm from Nashville, so I would have to say the Predators are my favorite hockey team.
Good answer, although they're having a bit of a tough year this year, but good answer. Tyler, you were at
I don't watch hockey.
Fair enough. Now, Tyler, you were at Teen Hoot, actually, which is in Nashville, and I should have asked that earlier, but this question's from Kendra, and she wants to know what your first impression of Teen Hoot was when you got there.
Okay, the Teen Hoot was so much fun, and I don't know, I loved it so much. My first impression was just, I was blown away, and it was amazing. Just, there were so many fans there, and everyone was so upbeat, and there was just like this amazing energy that you felt the entire time there. Once it was over, I was so sad, and I didn't want to leave, and I wish it could have lasted a lot longer. But it's a really, really cool event, and I hope that I can go back to the Hoot Fest this summer, and I'd love to perform. I've been getting my fans to tweet the Teen Hoot Twitter a lot, so anyone listening, please tweet the Teen Hoot Twitter and let them know you want to see me perform there, and I would absolutely love to just go and hang out. Even if I don't perform, I always go and say hi to the fans, because it's the fans who do so much for me and are so supportive of my career. So just to go and show that respect to them, it's a lot of fun. I love it so much. It's really cool.
This question is from Lauren Grayson. She wants to know, what is your favorite thing about performing, and do you enjoy the more intimate shows or the bigger shows? And that's a good question.
Well, hi, Lauren. I think that it's kind of just, it depends on what is going on, like, with my career at the moment. Since I'm getting ready to release my new EP, I'm really, really looking forward to these bigger shows that are coming up, and being able to promote the EP, and being able to show all the fans that are going to be at this shows, the new songs that are on the EP, and to perform them live, and just, I think that that's a lot of fun. But after, after the EP has been out a really long time, and then I start working on another project, I'll probably go back and do some more smaller and intimate shows so that I can still go and do stuff for the fans, but it will give me time to work on my other projects, so I can just split my time equally. But I love them both because, either way, I'm still getting to do what I love, and I'm out there singing and performing, so it's so much fun.
Got a couple more questions here for you, and if you do have a question for Tyler Matl, we will be happy to take it. You can just tweet us at Radio_Nation. Be on air for the next couple of minutes or so. I'll give a good feel here, but there's some great questions here, and this one is from Emily Connor. She had one earlier that I didn't get to mention her name on, so I will in this one. This is a good one as well. Emily wants to know, what keeps you grounded and focused, even when it gets hard? How do you keep going?
Well, my management definitely helps to keep me grounded, and so does my mom as well. They're an amazing, amazing team, and I don't know what I would do without them. And when it gets hard, I just remind myself that this is a journey, and that if I got it handed to me on a silver plate, and that if I didn't have to work for it, I honestly wouldn't appreciate it at all. And just sincerely, it probably would all, the fame would just go to my head, and I'd be one of those people who ends up ruining their career and ruining their life, and I don't want that to happen. So I think having to work for it and having those up and down moments instead of it just all being up, that's what makes you really appreciate it. So that when you do have those up moments and you do have those big days that you get to celebrate, you feel so good because you're I worked for this. I didn't just have it handed to me. So that's really how I get through all that.
This question is from Morgan Sanders, and she wants to know, if you could perform anywhere in the world, where would you like to perform most?
It's absolutely my dream to perform at Madison Square Garden and to have it sold out. I think that's every artist's dream, and just if I can do that someday, which I'm going to work towards, and I believe that it's possible, that would just be incredible, and that would be something that I would remember forever in my career. So I really want to perform there, and then I would love to be able to, someday go on a world tour, so I'm not just performing in the U.S., but where I can perform internationally for fans everywhere in an arenas all across the globe. So I think that would be incredible.
Hey man, you should come here and you should apply for Indie Week in Toronto. It's a pretty big festival here, and it happens in October, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely worth the trip up here. We're very, very supportive of international musicians for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm hoping to come to Canada this year. We've got some shows that I don't know. I may end up being up there. Some stuff we're looking at, so it'd be really cool.
If you're ever in Ontario, you let me know.
All right.
This is from Darby Jones. She wants to know, what's your favorite place to go out and eat?
My favorite place to eat is probably the Olive Garden. I love the Olive Garden so much. The breadsticks there are the best breadsticks in the whole world. I love all the food there, but even if they didn't have anything else, if they just had the breadsticks, it would still be my favorite restaurant. Just for the breadsticks, they're so good.
Yeah, they are pretty good here. They don't have too many Olive Gardens here in Ontario. I don't even know if they still have Olive Garden up here, so I'm kind of jealous that you have it down there.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love it. And when I go, I always get the Alfredo sauce, and I also get the normal red sauce, and I mix it together and then dip the bread in it, and it's so delicious.
This question is from Greg. He wants to know, what is the best vacation you've ever taken?
I went to Hawaii last year. No, it was 2 years ago. I went to Hawaii. It was actually for work, but I'd never been, and that was it's not outside of the U.S., but it's closest to being outside of all the connected states, and however you want to say it, that. And it was just so much fun. it's so beautiful there, and they really, it's really important to them to reserve the land, and there's so many amazing plants that you see there that you don't see anywhere else. And I just really loved the trip that I had there. And then another really cool vacation that I've had is just when I was able to go to New Orleans. That was awesome for work, but I really, really enjoyed it because I'd been out in California for a really long time, and I live in the South, also I live in Nashville, and so I missed being in the South a lot. And so it was nice to be back in the South, and also to have some of the food that they have there in New Orleans. It's so good. So Hawaii and New Orleans have been some of my favorite places that I've gone.
When you were in New Orleans, did you get to take in Bourbon Street?
I did. It was a night that I'll definitely always remember.
Did you go during the day, or did you go down there at night?
Oh, no, I went down at night.
Yeah, that's when you gotta go. It's a lot of fun. If anyone hasn't been to New Orleans, it's a city you gotta go to. It's a good place.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's a sin, I think, to go to New Orleans and not go to Bourbon Street, just because it's such an experience, and that's what it's known for. So you gotta do it at least once.
This question is from Connie. She wants to know are you a one instrument guy, kind of guy, or do you have are you all over the musical map? Excuse me.
Well, I play the guitar, the piano, and the drums, so I am not just a one instrument guy. I'm all over the map.
You mentioned before we went on the air here that you were sick, and one question that I'm very curious to know is, how does a musician that is dealing with a cold or a head cold or sinus or anything that affects your breathing or your vocals, how do you get over a cold, and how do you deal with being sick when you got to go perform?
Well, sometimes you really just have to suck it up and go out there and just perform anyways. I don't know, it just depends. I think how severe of being sick are you? Right now, I actually have pneumonia, which is pretty severe and not good at all. So my management has just reinforced over and over and over that I not sing at all until I have a show coming up this weekend, the Fallbrook Film Festival. So they want me to really just rest up so that my vocal cords and my voice can just heal up in time for that show. And then I'm just taking some antibiotics and drinking a lot of water every day and trying to get as much rest as possible. Just really taking the best care of myself that I can so that I do get better in time.
If you're just joining us live on Radio Nation, you're listening to Tyler Matl. I'm taking your questions from, and I'm doing my best to get to as many as I can. There are plenty of questions, and I'm trying to get to as many questions as I can, especially ones from people that I haven't answered yet or asked their questions for yet. Excuse me, I definitely haven't answered those questions. So getting through as many as I can here, Tyler. And again, thanks a lot, Tyler, for coming on and do this. I think your fans are really loving it right now.
So much for having me. I'm having a blast, and thanks for the awesome interview, and thank you to all the fans for listening. And your questions are amazing. Oh my gosh, thank you guys.
There's a couple of people that have asked this question. If you're stranded on an island and you can only take one person or 3 items with you, what are they? And who is the person?
If I was stranded on an island and I could only take one person with me, I'd probably take Taylor Swift.
Nice, I like it.
You know what I mean? We could start our own little community. And then, if I could take 3 items, I would take my guitar. I definitely would have to take that. I would take my Bible, and then I don't know. I would say I'd take my cell phone, but once it dies, it's no use. So actually, I want to take my cell phone.
You could just bring the charger,
I'd take my guitar. I'd take my Bible, and I would take a bed of some sort, a mattress, because I don't want to. I'm not the type of person who could construct my own bed, like you see on TV, like Gilligan's Island and all that stuff. They craft it out of the bamboo tree leaves and all that stuff. That wouldn't happen with me.
Good answer. I like it. Getting through as many questions as I can here. If you're just joining us here on Radio Nation, we are joined live on air with Tyler Matl. Tyler, what is the best part about living in California, or what's your favorite part about living in California? I'm already jealous of you.
My favorite part about living here in California is definitely the weather. It's the nicest weather that I've ever experienced from all the places I've been to in my life. And I really, really love just all the different things to do. The people who meet me probably think that I'm more of a tourist than someone who actually is living here, just because I'm always like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go do this and this and this. And they lived here forever, like since they were born. And so they're just like, yeah, I'm used to that. But I go on and on and on about how there's all these amazing things that you can do. And it's really cool. Like, you have an abundance of choices of stuff. Like, you can go to the movies or go bowling or all that stuff. But then there's just all these really cool, like, areas with basically touristy shops or touristy stuff to do. But it's cool because it's different than what I'm used to. In Nashville, we don't have all of, like, the really cool stuff that they have here. I don't know. I'm a tourist.
Tyler, what's the weather like? What is the weather currently in California, wherever you are in Southern California?
To everyone else who lives here right now, everyone would probably say that it's cold, because I keep hearing everyone say, like, oh my gosh, it's cold right now. But my idea of cold is completely different, because in Nashville, like, that's actually really cold right now. So I think it feels amazing. It feels really good. And see, like, it doesn't get really humid here, and I don't like humid weather. It gets humid in Nashville, and then in Texas, like, it's horribly humid, and I've been there a bunch. So it feels really nice here, and like, I could just go outside right now, and I think it just feels amazing.
Do you actually have do you know how warm it is currently right now? Because it is 28 degrees Fahrenheit where I am right now. Let me tell you, I'm already jealous just hearing about it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's spring, but I don't feel like it here.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't know the exact temperature.
Fair enough. There's lots of questions here to get to on Twitter. I'm going to get to as many as I can. We'll be on the air for the next 10 minutes or so. So anybody that's listening, you have a question for Tyler, let's see him right now, because we're going to be on there for the next 10 minutes or so. Tyler, do you try to send out messages through your songs? This comes from Taylor.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yep. Taylor wants to know if you try to send out messages or put messages in your songs.
I'm not sure what that means. I guess, I don't know, maybe if she means that, like, to have, like, some type of, I'm not sure what that means.
I guess what she means is, like, do you try to send a message, but whether it's, anti-bullying or some sort of positive message to your listeners, do you try to do that through your music?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, that was a total one moment for me. I really try to have, like, positive messages in my music as much as possible that I can send out. And especially on the song that's on the EP, It's Not Easy, I spent 2 days writing that song, and then a lot more time just going back and editing it and working on it, because I really wanted it to be something that people feel that they can understand and that they can relate to, and that it doesn't just make them sad when they listen to it because they feel like, oh yeah, like, bullying and that's something that's happening to me, but instead that it's a song about bullying but overcoming it, and it makes them feel like hopeful and everything. So I try to be very aware of, like, the messages that I put in my songs.
Couple more questions here, and if you're just tuning into Radio Nation right now, you're listening to Tyler Matl live on air with from California. Very, very warm in California, much warmer than here. Tyler, how do people get a hold of you on social media? I mean, obviously we have your Twitter account here, but how do people find you on Facebook?
People can just go and search my name, look up Tyler Matl, M-A-T-L, and you can find my band page on there.
Tyler, Marina in Toronto wants to know if you can cook, and if so, what's your favorite food to cook or eat?
Well, I'm really bad about eating a lot of cheese. Like, I will just go in and cut off chunks of it. But anything that I make always has a lot of cheese on it. So I like Mexican food a lot. And, like, I'll make burritos, and then I'll just, like, load it up with cheese, or I'll make grilled cheese. Anything you can think of that has cheese in it, I can make it.
What I mean, what kind of cheese do you like? You have a preference of cheese that you like?
Yeah, I love like sharp cheddar or Colby, Jack, Monterey. I'm not, the only cheese that I don't really like is the pepper jack, but other than that, I love cheese in general.
What is the toughest thing about being a musician?
I think that the toughest thing about being a musician is just probably that, like, I don't get to see my family as much, and like I said earlier, just not being able to live like a 100% normal teenage life. But at the same time, like I said, everyone's really supportive of me, and they're still there for me when I have my days off, and I can still have my days that I get to be a normal teenager.
Do you get a chance to go back to see your family quite often?
Not as much as I used to. I used to live with my family all the time, and now I'm out here and I'm with my management, and then I'm traveling all the time, and especially this year, like, it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna be all over the place, and so I don't really get as much time with my family as I used to, but I still talk to them all the time. Like, my mom will call me, or I'll call her up, and then I talk to my sisters, and then I do get to see them. I treasure those moments that I have with them just as much, because I know that soon I'll have to go away again.
Tyler, what is your favorite emoji? I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right.
What is my favorite what?
Emoji, those like smiley faces you use on an iPhone or an iPod.
Oh, my favorite one is the peace sign. Yeah.
That's from Tommy. That's off of Twitter as well. I don't even know if I got that name right, but I thought that was a fun question. This is a funny question. If you were a potato, what kind of dish would you want to be made into? And this is from Vanessa in Washington.
Oh my gosh, absolutely McDonald's French fries.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a good question. That's so random. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I love questions like that are just so random and out there. Like, they're just so fun.
If anybody has a question for Tyler Matl, you can tweet me at @radio_nation, and I'd be happy to answer it in the next 5 minutes or so. Tyler, where do you sort of see yourself headed in the next? You said you got a lot. You do have a lot coming up. You got an album coming out. You're hitting the road. You got merchandise coming out. Where do you want to be in the next 6 months' time? Where do you hope to be?
In the next 6 months' time, I definitely hope to be, seeing a lot of really great things happen with this EP, which I really think a lot of amazing stuff is, set to happen. I'm just excited to see what does, and I really hope to see myself signing to a label soon, and something that I've been working really hard towards, and so I feel like it's very close, and I've been meeting a lot of people in the industry who are helping me to reach these goals, and we're starting to have people who are interested. So I feel like it's just a matter of time before I end up being offered the right deal. Because for me, it's like I do want to sign to a label, but at the same time, I also don't always just take the first deal that I'm offered, because it might not. Just because it's a record deal offered doesn't mean it's the right deal. So I want to make sure it's the right deal for me, and I just hope in the next 6 months that like I said, things do well with the EP, that these shows I have going on, that all the preparation for them pays off, that once I get up on the stage, I can just really show people everything I've been working on, and that people receive it well and people like it, and just to see things continue to move forward.
Tyler, you mentioned signing the right deal. I guess talk to me. What kind of things do you look for in a deal? What kind of things are you hoping to get out of a record label? Obviously, there's some labels out there that really they're not in the interest of helping the artist as much as some other labels are. So I mean, what sort of things are you looking for when you're being offered a label deal or looking into reaching out to one?
Well, I want to make sure that whoever the A&R person is that is offering me a record deal and the label that is interested in me, I want to make sure that they really have my best interest at heart. Because so many artists get shelved these days, or there's these 360 deals that people are signing, but then nothing really happens with them. And I don't want that to happen to me. I want to make sure that, there's a plan that they have, and that, it's just something that is in alignment with my plan, and that, I don't know, I just think, that also, I think it's very important to just how much that they really believe in you, because sometimes people get signed, but the A&R person, like, who discovered them and signed them, they don't have a whole lot of faith in them, and so then they get dropped really quickly. So I think I want to make sure also that it's, whoever assigns me, that it's someone I've built a really good relationship with, and that we're just a really strong team. So I just think when it's the right deal, I'll know.
Is it one of those things where you'd like to be signed to a label that has a little bit more of an established, is it already established and not one that's maybe just sort of sprouted out of really nowhere?
I mean, I definitely love to sign to a major record label, to any of the major labels, like the Sony and all these huge machines. But then there's also, like, plenty of artists who they signed with a smaller label and they have just as big of careers. So I kind of just think that it's really important to have a really good team of people behind you. The team is just as important as the deal that you get and the label that you get the deal from. And I already have an amazing management team, an amazing team of people who believe in me, and we're all working together very, very hard. And I just want, when I sign a deal, for it to be that my team is joining with another team who has the same vision as mine, and that we just kind of are, we have a great working relationship together. But ideally, I think it would be incredible if I could sign to a more established label, someone who has produced results before and it does have recorded success. I think that would be awesome.
Tyler, we just been touching on labels here, and if you're just joining us, we are joined live with Tyler Matl on Radio Nation. I guess you've touched on some great points, and I guess I just want to ask, you get your opinion on this. As a musician who is making his way through the industry, where there are just so many other musicians now that can be heard because of social media, do you think it's still very, very important to be signed to a label, even though there are so many other avenues to make money off your music, just by putting stuff out on iTunes and then that sort of thing?
I just think it depends on what you want to do and the kind of artist that you want to be. Like, there's Ingrid Mikkelsen, I hope I'm saying her name right, and she's a very, very well-known independent artist, and there's a lot of other artists who are at the same level as her, and they're independent, but they can support themselves, and they can release a CD or release singles and sell, at least 50,000 copies to 25,000 copies of their music, and then also they can pack, the venues that they're selling on their own. But I think that they like that they have if you're able to do that, and then you like that you have the control of your own career because you're already successful, so you don't want the label to come in and and then like to give up any percentage, then by all means like stay independent and just keep all the money and all the royalties and keep doing your thing because it's working for you. But then I think it's just as great that if you can get signed to a label, they can take you past that into an even bigger level. And but also you have to work for it because there's so many people who get signed and then they think that the label is going to do everything for them, and so they stop working because they expect everything to be done for them. And that's why there's so many amazing artists we've never heard of who have been signed, but we don't know their name and we don't know who they are because they thought it would be handed to them when they got signed. And so I think it's really important to just understand how the industry works.
Tyler, for you, would it matter really in the end for you if all you could do was just make money off of, or just make a living off of doing music, regardless of if you got signed to a label or if you were just making money by songwriting or by just releasing independent albums? Would it really matter to you in the end?
Oh, that's a tough question. Honestly, I really would love to sign to a label because, like I said, like I would love to be an artist who can sell out Madison Square Garden and who can, have a career that takes them internationally on tours and does stuff that's at that level. And I don't really think that there's ever been an independent artist to sell out Madison Square Garden or do any of that. Not to say that I wouldn't work towards that, but at the same time, I think if I got offered the right deal, then and I felt like it could help me to get towards my goals and the things that I've set for myself to reach, then I would go for it.
Tyler, last question tonight. What is something about yourself that people don't really know about you?
I think that maybe something that people don't know about me is I'm a completely different person off stage than I am on stage. On stage, I'm a lot more confident and just I'm not really worrying about what's going on around me. And I kind of have a different personality. But when I'm off stage, I'm not Tyler Matl anymore. I'm just Tyler again, and I just want to have fun and enjoy the people that I'm surrounded by. And I can tend to be a little bit more closed off because of the stuff that I've been through with bullying. So I have to really get to know you before I can open up to you. But I think that that's something that when people meet me, they're really surprised because they'll meet me and they'll be talking with me and hanging out, and then they'll see me perform, and they're like, it wasn't like I was watching you, it was like I was watching someone else in your body.
Anything else you want to add before I let you go, Tyler?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me, and thank you guys, everyone who listened, and to all the fans. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I'm so excited, so excited for this new EP to come out, and for you guys to hear all the new songs that are on there. And thanks again, Nick, for having me. I really enjoyed the interview.